Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Hey, welcome to this episode of the Nicholas Show. Always it's Money Mondays here. We are back in the office with our after spending a couple days off for the holiday. Hopefully, everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We've been off basically since Wednesday at about noon. We headed down and spent a couple days down in Corpus Christi with my mom. Cooked for Thanksgiving. Did a lot of the cooking. It was good to spend some time with her, play some skip bow, some cards. And just fellowship with I guess you could say half of my step family on the other side, which is great, and just kind of relax a little, take it easy. We got back Saturday afternoon, watched that Longhorn victory in the versus in Texas A&M, which is always good. But today's episode, I want to talk about something that we don't talk a lot. I don't think is kind of what you should be doing um, on a day in day out basis, specifically as we get to the end of the year. Now that we're into December, it's so crazy how fast the year flew by, right? Everybody, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I look back, man, the year flew by, especially looking at our numbers and looking at what we accomplished this year and what we want to accomplish next year and everything that's going on. It's just kind of a crazy speed. And hopefully you are all sitting here looking back at your 2024, man, I accomplished a lot. Now, if you didn't hit your goals that you set for yourself, that's okay. Don't get so surprised. Don't be so upset about that. The older you get, the faster they go. Trust me, Dale. Yeah, I totally would 100% agree with that. And that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I don't start planning for New Year come late December. What I do is I started planning for 2025 over a month ago, like right around the beginning of Halloween. I start putting some things in place. I start evaluating some things, especially when I came back from FinCon. I try to look at that, especially the last couple of years. That's been kind of my starting point. Okay, what do I want to accomplish in the next year? And thought about things through Halloween. And then as we got through Thanksgiving this past week, I've already started implementing things that I want to accomplish. And there are some things that you all should be doing as well in your businesses. And I thought I would just give you guys a friendly reminder on kind of 10 things that you should probably do before the end of the year arrives so that your 2025 is more successful than it is this year. Okay. And this is totally opening up for questions, but what I'd love for you to do, for those of you that are joining me live here on Zoom, is type in the chat room, what's been your big accomplishments this year? Been your big goal for the year that you've accomplished so far? And it doesn't need to be, well, I closed on 20 notes, or it doesn't need to be, I raised $500,000. It could be something simple like, hey, I actually took a class. I made some offers. I reached out to IRA investors. There's a whole variety of different things that you could be doing to put yourself in the right position for success. It's not all about closing deals, especially when you're brand new. Like I engaged with a guy back and forth on LinkedIn this morning during my morning walk. He's followed me for years. He's starting to marketing for IRA investors based on what we share here in the podcast and everything. And that gets me excited. I mean, I think you get more excitement about closing on your first IRA investor than you do closing on your first deal in some cases. Because when you close on your first IRA deal with an IRA investor, it builds a lot of confidence. Like, well, heck, I can do this and move on. And that's one of the greatest joys we get, and I get from teaching, is seeing that light bulb come on. I mean, look, there's plenty of deals out there for everybody. I'm a firm believer in that. Plenty of deals. But those that don't find deals, those that complain that there's too many note investors, it comes down to one simple thing. They don't market. They don't market in the different places for deals. They're not following up with people. And that's the biggest thing I know that separates us from everybody else out there, is that we literally show you how to go find deals. We show you how to break things down. I got a great call on Tuesday with a friend of mine who's a note investor and has been around for a little bit. And she's like, Scott, you don't blow smoke up people's asses. You tell it exactly as it is. I'm like, yeah. Some people don't want to hear exactly as it is. Some people want to rely on others to do it all for them. Well, if you rely on someone to do it all for them, do it all for you, you're going to pay through the nose. And I'd rather teach you how to fish so you can go out and feed yourself with good returns on a regular basis instead of relying on somebody to feed you and you being forced to take what they give you. And when you're forced to take what you're given, it's not going to be the best return. It's not going to be the best deals because guess what? They're going to be pulling deals for themselves in a lot of cases. But anyway, so with that in mind, these are 10 things I really believe you should focus on as we roll into 2025. And these are things that can be done before the end of the year. In the next 29 days or 28 days, or whenever you're listening to this, in the next 4 weeks, you can implement these things so that your things are starting to rock and roll for you. Okay. And it's basically 10 items. And then I'm going to share 5 of my big goals and a couple of things. One of the big goals I know that you guys will have, I'll share how we kind of break it down on our back end to reverse engineer the numbers for you. Okay. So the end of year activities here for you. So the first thing that you all should do is if you do not have a self-directed IRA, I don't care if it's a Roth, a traditional, a SEP, a solo, whatever it is, look to max out your self-directed IRA, at least your Roth. If you've got a Roth or traditional, look to max that out before the end. Now, you do have till April 15th of this next year to max out to 2024 numbers. But if you're looking at buying some notes and you want to close out your first deal, get your 6 or 7 grand into your IRA, your Roth before the end of the year. And then you can put another 6 or 7 in next year. And that 14, 15 grand or 12 grand or whatever it is, that's not a bad little nest egg to start the ball off rolling with one deal. It's not going to be I'm going to get rich, retire off a one note deal, but it's a good starting point to get your IRA working for you. And yes, you can find some performing, some partials, some stuff like that out there to get a decent 12% return in your IRA. And it can be a short period of time, 2, 3. I mean, we made a bunch of offers this last week on that tape of 278 notes with the idea in mind that probably 5 of those deals are going to go into my IRA, solo 401k, just for that aspect. So think about that. If you've got a kid who's growing up or grandkids or something like that, go start an ESA with them. And I think in the next week or so, we're going to have somebody from America IRA come on to talk about some of the different IRAs and how you can put those things to work. It would be great for you. Okay. Now, number 2, here's the greatest thing about the holidays when it comes to Christmas is how many of you guys get letters, postcards from your family members, like your extended family members? And so always like that nice smiling, they got the update, 2024 year in review update, how, Johnny's still looking for that management position. Little Susie is finally can see she's no longer cockeyed. Little Jimmy stopped eating, paint chips. And me, I'm still only drinking half a bottle of vodka at night. You know what I mean? To get through the day. You get what I'm talking about, right? It's your opportunity to send out a hello letter to your network, your database, a card, Christmas cards. We go and order Christmas cards basically from Vista Print and get them out to people in the family and other things. They work good as business cards too for like gifts or stuff like that. Make it pretty simple, but we get them out. It's one of my things to order this week. Get them in so they get them in. So I have them back in by the 15th to the 20th. And then I get them out before Christmas. All right. But there's a letter, there's an email, there's if I don't order business cards, or postcards, I'll send an email blast out to people, our warm audience. All right. If you're not building a database of contacts, you should be doing that. If you don't have your mailing database to drop out 50 to 100 postcards, go do that. Just tell them what you're focused on. Hey, you may have known me as this local dentist for 20 years. Maybe if you didn't know, for the last 3 or 4, I've been also a very active real estate investor. I'm focused on this and this. I'd love to share more if you're looking to do something in the new year or start investing. Let's talk. Okay. Pretty simple. Number 3 is update your website. Many of you don't have a website, and that's okay, but you need to put something in place. If you're using MailChimp gives you a free landing page. You can go to landingpages.com or leadpages.com. If you're using Keep will give you a variety of landing pages. You need to have a website, pure and simple. It's a new world. If not, by updating your website, I also mean going and updating your social media, your LinkedIn profile. There's some of you guys that are on here who've not even updated your social media, and I've told you to go do that. All right. If you're not going to update like your LinkedIn profile with a photo of who we can see who you are with an update, it doesn't matter what you do, all these other things, it's not going to have any success. Updating your website, updating your LinkedIn, you need to do that. It's a very, very important thing. And the longer you don't do it, the longer you don't want to succeed. That's what you tell me. That's literally what you tell me in your actions by not doing that. Okay. But when you do update it, you will start seeing activity. You'll start seeing people engaging. When you start doing some things and updating your website or updating your LinkedIn, that will help out. Now, number 4, start planning for OPM. Now, what's OPM? That's other people's money. If you're going to buy more deals this next year, you're going to start planning for OPM. And that means reaching out to IRA investors at the county records by going either to the assessor's website or going to the county clerk or county recorder's office. Now, if you're in a small little county, you're probably not going to see a lot of stuff there. Go to your local county recorder's office and do a search for Equity Trust, Quest Trust, all the different IRA companies as a grantee, grantor, or mortgagee, mortgagor. And it's going to pull up, doing a deed search. You'll see on the deed that you look at, you'll see the mail-in addresses of both parties. The IRA investor, it'll say Quest Trust for the benefit of Scott Carson, went to Johnny Holmes, right? And Johnny Holmes' address. Well, there's the address. Send out a letter, not to Johnny, but to Scott Carson or Equity Trust. Same thing. Send out the postcards. Send out a letter. Now, here's another thing. Planning for OPM isn't just mailing out postcards to IRA investors. That's one thing. It's also about going out and networking. All right. December, January, February, March are the best times to go out and network at their local RIA clubs because you have more people coming out to those investment clubs because they want to take advantage of the knowledge. They want to start putting things in place for their goals. It's kind of like why the gym is so packed the first week of January, but it's vacant starting in February, right? People show up 2 or 3 times and then they fall off. Well, it's the same thing with investment clubs. They show up 2 or 3 times and they kind of fade out if they don't do anything. But going in January, going in February, even going for the Christmas party in December, if your RIA club has something, is very important and can start sitting. So plan it. Put those on your calendar to attend, whether it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or it's a Saturday thing that shows up. Plan to go to that at least for 3 or 4 months. Put that on your calendar and block it out. Okay. It's one of the most important things you can do is plan it. What am I going to do to start raising OPM? Well, I'm going to start sending out postcards and I'm going to go start networking. Those are 2 of the most important things to do. Okay. Now, number 5 is contact every asset manager you've talked to, especially now before the end of the year. Because they're going to have stuff on their books that they need to get rid of. And they're going to have stuff in the first quarter because for a lot of these companies, their fourth quarter is the end of the first quarter. Okay. Especially in banking, a lot of things. So they're looking to get stuff off their books by the end of the year or the end of Q1 that they didn't move. So start reaching out to every asset manager you made offers from. Everybody you talk to. This is the whole, hey, going to LinkedIn and starting using Octopus CRM to start contacting asset managers. Now, if you don't have any connections, like I'm working with a couple of my coaching students, Joe and Spencer, and they're very new to LinkedIn. So what's great, well, some people look at it as a handicap. I don't think it's a handicap. I actually think it's a great thing because now they can actually work to coordinate to build their LinkedIn so it's more effective in attracting the right people they need to connect with. And that will be, especially starting off with, it's like note investors. Hey, let's pull a list of 1,000 profiles into Octopus and start connecting with 20 to 50 note investors per day, because those are going to be a very, very valuable thing. Exactly. And Dale says, based on FDIC filings, I usually charge-offs in 4Q to get ready for the next year. It's exactly what I'm saying, Dale. They realize they've got to move stuff at the end of the year, get it off their books. If they don't close by the end of the year, they're going to try to get it off their books in Q1 just to be done with it. Okay. But that's why contacting every asset manager, especially now through December 27th. Okay. This is why we harp on this, and especially in November. Hey, start contacting, sending out an email twice a week, usually, send them out this week and follow up 2 days later, especially now after Thanksgiving. If you don't have an email set to go out on Tuesday to asset managers and then following that up on Thursday, you're really going to hurt yourself. And what do you send? It's like what we say in our manual. Hey, what do you have on your books that we can get rid of before the year end? I'd love to take a look at what you have and see if we can't make it a fit. All right. That's one of the biggest things. If you haven't made an offer on a note, okay, that's fine. But guess what? Get every asset manager to start Start reaching out to your asset managers so they send you a list so you can make offers. Okay. When we post tapes into our Basecamp group for WCN members, we tell you, listen, hey, we need your offers. Especially if I send an email out, hey, we need your offers. If you don't know what to do with a tape when you see a tape, then ask. Don't wait till the last minute. Oh, it's Wednesday after you said you need on Monday. Don't do that. Be proactive. If you're not happy with the success and where you're at, it probably comes down to two things. One, you procrastinate. And two, you just don't take any action. And that's the thing that is like my biggest pet peeve. If you don't, it's okay. Everybody procrastinates some. By not taking action, guess what? Decisions are being made for you. Whether you make a decision or not, there is going to be a decision made. And I tell this all the time, like I have my team, like, listen, it's better to make a decision and go in a direction than not sit there at all. Because then if you don't make a decision, don't take action, then that decision is going to be made for you. Somebody else is going to do it, and you're probably not going to like it. Or the opportunity that you had is now gone. That's why being late is like one of my biggest pet peeves. I hate being late to things. I absolutely hate it. If I want to plan on leaving, I want to leave on that time. I don't want to wait 30 minutes later. I want to leave at that time, or I want to arrive at this time, not 30 minutes later. I want to go. There's a reason for that. There's a reason to be early, because if something happens along the way, it gives you a little bit of cushion. All right. Waiting until January 1st to plan, you know what's going to happen? You're going to be hungover January 1st, not get till January 2nd, and then you're going to be feeling hard on yourself and not do anything. Start taking action. Your new year can start today. Okay. But start making those asset manager contacts, reaching out, talking to people. It's one of the most easy. Don't delay. If you delay, you're just delaying your success. Biggest mistake I made was not starting sooner on everything I've ever had success in. I should have started soon. Okay. So let's recap the first 5. Max out your SDIRA, or look to do that. Send out hello letters and or email or postcard to your warm audience. Update your website with new information, or your LinkedIn profile with new information so it looks fresh. So fresh and so clean. Start looking at planning for OPM, how many postcards, how many letters you're going to send out, pulling lists of IRA investors, going out and networking at the real clubs, Christmas parties, those kinds of things, and start contacting asset managers. Okay. Contact every asset manager you've made an offer on in the last 12 months. It's one thing that we always do. Hey, what do you have that you're looking to get rid of before the end of the year? Okay. Does it 1 through 5. Now, 6 through 10 are a little bit different. Now, 6 through 10 is important. Now, 6 is review, update your goals. I know we should have probably made this number 1, but if we did, you probably wouldn't have done anything. So review your goals for last year. Hopefully you wrote them down somewhere, like I always tell you to. If you didn't, then you need to figure out, okay, what did I think I wanted to do last year, and how successful was I? Was it successful? Did I lose some weight? Did I gain it back? Did I pay down my credit cards? Did I add some stuff to it? Look at what your goals are. Update your goals for 2025. Okay. And then plan your marketing calendar. Okay. Like I said, I start planning my stuff back in October, November. After I came back from FinCon, that's when I started planning my marketing calendar. What's my marketing calendar? Really very simple. We're going to basically focus on the biggest bang for our buck that we get in our marketing is our YouTube channel and our podcasts. All right. The two are very interconnected, obviously. Not every video is a podcast episode. So my marketing calendar is to crank out 4 podcast episodes a week on average for 2025. That's a lot. Okay. And 1 small 1-minute video per day, Monday through Sunday. Kind of didn't do anything the last couple of weeks because we were cranking out 3 or 4 episodes, small, short videos per day, but I can tweak that up a little bit. But that's the number one marketing thing. One short video per day for a minute, at least 1 minute video, and then 4 longer form videos, episodes of information, knowledge. And I actually kind of tweaked it a little bit so that if I'm posting Monday through Friday, I have a theme for all 5 of those days. Okay. To kind of help out to put some things. Okay. That's my marketing calendar along with 2 events especially in Q1, we have Note Camp as our virtual event, our online 30 plus speakers. It's not like our No Buying for Dummies. It's a 3-day virtual summit that will be in January. And then, of course, we have our 3-day class here in Austin on Valentine's weekend, 14th through the 16th. And we're excited about the Dale. Glad to see that you purchased your ticket. We'll get you the information on the hotel later today. Okay. But you can get signed up for that. If you're not signed up for it, go to notebuyingfordummies.com and get signed up for that. Limited seats are available for that. Okay. Update your pitch decks. If you don't have a pitch deck, then write your pitch deck up. Go in and tweak your pitch deck. Hey, do I need to edit some things? Am I using new vendors? Do I need to use a better pitcher? Do I sound more confident? Do I have more case studies? This is something that I definitely need to do and go update my sample pitch deck that we use. And then also I know that you guys use it off of based on what we do. Okay. Number 9, I know people don't like to do this, but this is one thing that's very important. We try to do this about once a quarter. But look at your expenses and costs. If your memberships, your residual stuff that's coming out, what do you need to get rid of? What are you using? What are you not using? Because we all know that you can die by the death of a million paper cuts if you allow things to happen. But look at what you're spending on a monthly basis on things. Do you need it? Do you not need it? And get rid of it. It's not adding value. Get rid of it. Okay. And then number 10, a lot of people forget to do this because we are such hard workers in a lot of cases, but we celebrate your wins in 2024. If you closed your first deal, celebrate it. Do an email blast about it. I signed up for this and I had success, or I raised, I bought my first note deal, or I bought my first rental, whatever it might be. Celebrate your wins. It's important to celebrate the little things. We get so bogged down in the big things, we burn ourselves out without taking time to reflect back and say, hey, what was so successful about 2024? What was so successful that I'm proud of this year? What did I accomplish this year? I have a little personal goal that I get up every morning to. I'm trying to average 12,000 steps per day again for this year. I did it last year. I averaged 12,000 steps. I'm averaging right now. I got a little bit of uphill climb in December, but that's okay. I can still achieve my goal of averaging 12,000 steps per day. Right now it's at 11.5 or 11.6. I haven't looked this morning after my walk, but I know I've got a little bit of uphill strategy the next couple of weeks to hit it, but I know I can do it. And I like that. I'm like, hey, I walk 12,000 steps per day on average. All right. I average riding 5 miles per day, whatever it might be, be happy about it. Give yourself a pat in the back. If you can monetize your goals or gamify it in some sort of fashion, take the time to enjoy it sometime in the next month. Before 2025 rolls around, unless your goal ends on New Year's Eve, celebrate it New Year's Day. I was able to accomplish this, great, and move on. Okay. So those are the 10 things. Let's do a quick recap here. Max out your self-directed IRA, send out your hello letter email to your warm database, update your website, social, start planning for OPM, contact every asset manager you've been in contact or you can on LinkedIn, and utilize Octopus for that. That'll help out a lot. Review, update your goals for the next year. If you've not done that, you need to do that, and then post them somewhere so you can see them on a day in, day out basis. Plan your marketing calendar. How often are you going to post? How often are you going to share something? Is it going to be daily? It can be once a week. There's no right or wrong answer to this. It's completely up to what you do. Here's the biggest problem. Not marketing is planning to fail. That's straight up what I'm going to tell you. If you're not going to be sharing stuff, you are literally planning on failing. Okay. Update your pitch decks, whether it's your 10-minute pitch deck on raising capital or it's a case study or 2 deals. Update them if you haven't update them so far. Just talking about your experience. Those are going to be some valuable assets that you can post on your LinkedIn, your YouTube, and other places, Bigger Pockets, stuff like that. 9, review expenses, costs, memberships. What are you using? What are you not using? Get rid of what you're not. It's not adding value. Get rid of it. If it is adding value, great. Use it and use it. All right. And then number 10, celebrate your 2024 wins. Definitely celebrate your wins. It's one of the most important things that you can do and say, hey, I did accomplish something this year. It doesn't have to be anything big, but I did accomplish something this year, and focus on those wins and move forward. And then understand that your numbers, like if I didn't hit my goals, why didn't I hit my goals? Well, I'll give you a great example. If your goal was to lose 50 pounds this year and you didn't lose 50 pounds this year, it came down to 2 things. One, either you're eating more than you need to, or you're not exercising enough. Or if you are exercising, then you probably need to look at where your diet is. All right. Now, last year, I suffered with basically on the verge of diabetes and was able to get rid of that. All right. I lost some weight. It was a lot of work. Now, it has not come back. I put a little bit of weight back on. I'm like, okay, I just need to get back into riding the bike a little bit more at night and solve that. B issues is something I can focus on. I've already found gamifying it with a year-long race, which I've done that for 2 years straight. I'm excited about that. Okay. Now, here's some other goals that I put down, business-wise goals. Okay. Now, we buy performing and non-performing notes. Okay. I want to focus on this year buying 100 performing notes that are bringing in a 15% or greater ROI. Very feasible to do that. If you figure that out, that's about 8 deals a month. That's very feasible what we see. I want to have 500 people on Note Camp, and that's going to be in like just over a month. So I really got to get on that for marketing that, which is not going to be too difficult because I've got 20 to 30 speakers pretty much lined up, all ready for that. I just got to figure when they're going to speak and how they're going to speak it, and they'll do it, whether it's going to be live or recorded. It's probably going to be live. We want to have 50 people in the Austin No Blind for Dummies workshop in February. That's right. Those are 2 huge events. Note Camp, obviously bigger. It's virtual on Zoom. The No Blind for Dummies class in person. We've done an in-person class in over a year. We have less than 50 seats available now. I don't know exactly how many. I think we've got 40 that are available because we had a few folks sign up for that, but we're excited about that. And I mentioned this earlier, part of our big marketing campaign that really drives knowing what our best lead gen is 200 episodes of the NCS podcast, No Closure Show podcast. Yes, we'll have Note Night in America. Yes, we'll be doing 1-minute videos per day as well. But the 200 episodes of the NCS podcast, that leads to a lot of great stuff. That should put us over 1,100 episodes by the end of next year, which would be crazy. We should surpass the 1,000 episode mark sometimes in the first quarter. That's the goal. And then obviously the videos, and then we want to surpass 10,000 YouTube subscribers. We've got the #1 YouTube channel for note investing. We've got the #1 podcast, and we keep wanting to keep driving those home. I think we're at just under 8,600 subscribers. So we need to add 1,400 subscribers on YouTube. That's basically 120 per month. That's basically 4 people per day. We can do that. I know that we can do that and go from there. And some of those are like, oh, that doesn't apply to me. And maybe the 100 performing notes at 15% ROI. Well, let me tell you, if you break down your goals, one of the things about your goals, that may seem like a lot for a lot of people. And for most people, it would be. Okay. But when you look at the numbers behind it, it really doesn't come to be that difficult. You got to buy basically 100 performing notes at a 15% ROI. Okay. Well, if I'm going to be bidding on assets that at least have a $50,000 value, okay, at least where I'm bidding, at least where we're funding $50,000 at a time, 100 of those notes means I need to raise $5 million private capital to make it happen, right? Okay. Well, if you divide that by $150,000 per investor on average that most of your SDIR investors have, 67% of them have 150 grand or more. That means at a minimum, I need 33.3 investors to raise $5 million. And if you figure if I'm just going to do part of our big thing, if we just talk about mailing out to IRA investors, if you figure a 4% direct mail open rate, response rate from direct mail, then if I take 33.4 times 0.04, it means I need 834 IRA investors that we market to. We could just round that to 1,000. Okay. If you're going to spend about $1 per postcard with mail and stuff like that, you're going to spend about $1,000 doing that. Well, if I'm going to bring in 5 million private capital that's paying 15% is returns, that's $750,000 in cash flow over the year. Yeah, yes, I know that would be all if I bought them all in January. It could be feasibly done, but the whole guy of this is to set this up so that that's bringing in $750,000 or more at a minimum at the end of the year. It's completely feasible. All of you can do that. Comes down to marketing for money and marketing for deals. How do you do that? That's the LinkedIn, that's the asset managers, that's the reaching out to your local networking, your IRA clubs, your events. There's a lot of opportunity for you to do if you will just put those two things into work and stay with it and stay with it and stay with it. And that's what you do most of the time. You're the one that's in charge of finding deals and making offers and finding money. The servicing will work out. Yeah, that happens, but that's going to be handled by your servicing company and the attorneys. And so that you're getting paid on a monthly basis. Each of you can do this. I've seen it done many times. We've had many of our coaching students close on 100, 200 notes in a year. They work up to it their first year, second year and beyond. They're closing deals as much as they want. And I don't know what your number is, your cash flow number is wise. All right. We've done this many times before. We plan on doing it again. And we really foresee big things happening 2025 and beyond. This could be the next 2008. When everything happened back in 2008, all of us thought, oh, well, maybe we have 4 years of this. Well, we had close to 10 years. It's going to take a while for this thing to happen. But the thing is, note business is not going away. Whether you're originating notes or buying notes or, buying something that's been around for a while, the thing to look at, if you look at, we have basically close to, 9 billion, or sorry, 80 million, let me get this right. 80 million homeowners with a mortgage on there. If you figure a 3% default rate, that's 2.4 million non-performing notes. That's in 1 year. That's not considering the stuff that rolls around 2, 3, 4, 5 years out. Plenty of opportunity. You just have to be the guy or the gal that steps up. And this is what I want to accomplish. This is what I want to do, and go out and make it happen. It comes from marketing, building a network, sharing what you want to focus on, and go do that. If you want to have a share, even if I get half of that, look at that half of that. If I'm giving half of that away to my investors, that's still close to $400,000 in cash flow. That's a pretty freaking good day, ladies and gentlemen. And each of you can do that. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns before we let you go for the day, the evening, the afternoon? I want to thank you all for coming on here. I'm very appreciative of all and each of every one of you that's joining us live here, that's watching. If you have questions, comments, it's great. I gained clarity, the one thing on what I wanted to pursue in business, note investing, and sought out professional help. You. Well, you need professional help, Sterling. We all do. But that's the thing. You have to get very clear on things. I love it. I know that you were looking at a variety of things, what I want to do, what's going to work well around my schedule. And you've got all the tools that you need to do. We just going to help you implement those things, get rock and roll. I mean, I expect big things out of you this next year, Sterling. I'll start appearing on other people's podcasts by their invitation to leverage their audience while committing to content creation to build mine. Commit to and set up my CRM last week to send people to. That's awesome, Dale. Good stuff. What are you talking about on people's podcasts? Are your focus? I'd love to visit with you. You might have some opportunities and stuff like that. But that's a great way to get the networking out. We have appeared on about 500 other podcasts for the last couple of years. I was doing like 100 episodes a year, 2 a week on other people's shows. We hit that for 3 or 4 years, and we slowed down on appearing on shows for a couple of years. But we started to see an increase back into it as the markets change. So maybe something we end up focusing on as well. So that's awesome. Good stuff for you, Dale. Proud of you. Proud in each of every one of you. Yeah, most real estate investors are not even aware of the debt side, even though they're already involved in it. Exactly. Good stuff, man. We'll keep up the good work. Congratulations to sign up for Austin. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks or 2+ months. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. For those that are watching here, our next 3-day class is here in Austin, Texas, February 14th, 15th, and 16th. Our virtual note buying workshop is the first one we've done in over a year in person. It's limited to 50 people, 3 days of content. Sign up at notebuyingfordummies.com. The normal cost is $14.97. We are running a special at dropping it down to $9.97. If you're a WCN crew member, you obviously get it cheaper than that. But it includes replays of the previous workshop, a 200+ page manual, you plus a partner or spouse, and then we will not have another live workshop till probably August or September. And I committed to doing 2 live workshops a year back in September, and we're going to do it. So excited to have you guys join us in Austin, February 14, 15, 16. Take advantage of that. Get signed up today. NoBuyingForDummies.com, and we'll get rock and rolling. All right. Unlimited drink tickets. Yeah, you can have all the unlimited drink tickets you want, but it's on your tab. We'll have plenty of iced tea and water here for you. Obviously, we'll probably have a adult beverage one night that week or that weekend too for you, Dale. But you definitely come on down, have a good time. Notes, fellowshipping with your fellow note investors, getting some good barbecue, and really just having a good time. Nobody's ever complained about one of our workshops because we just take good care of the people attending. So hope to see you here. Otherwise, guys, go out, take some action, have a great day, and we'll see you at the top. Bye, everybody.